Hey.
Yes, sir. Damn. Come on. You be getting a little older, so how you move the shit like this now? How you?
This how I move.
There it is. That's called the feel good all over shit right there.
That's like the old Bernie fat guy.
Hey.
Listen. Let me see, P. Let me see how you do it. Listen.
Do the pop. Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. Come on. Wait a minute.
Wait. Here we. It's the Porch Podcast.
Come on.
It's the Porch Podcast.
Come on.
It's the Porch Podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's the Porch Podcast. It's the Porch Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's the Porch Podcast. It's the Porch Podcast.
Got that thing right.
It's the Porch Podcast. Hey, yeah, man. It's the Porch Podcast, man. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential, and I'm rocking with my brother.
The original.
All right. Now, listen. That was a hell of an intro right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, man. E, man. I'm loving the beats, man.
Listen, man.
I'm loving the beats.
That's just something I do on my spare time.
I'm glad you got spare time. I'm glad you got it.
I know. That's why that shit need to be worked on.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Talk to him, P.
Yeah, no, I got one. I actually, before we get into it, like you said, usually we like to talk right from the jump. You see what today's episode is about? The title of it is GPS.
GPS.
And we're going to dive into that. Well, the definition, according to the Webster's Dictionary, y'all know how I like to do my 1-2. The GPS stands for Global Positioning System. But we'll get into it a little bit deeper because you know I ain't staying at the surface level.
Right.
Okay? First and foremost, E, I wanted to ask you a question.
Ask me.
It's not really in line with what we're going to be discussing.
It's always
but
in line.
It'll kind of blend itself into it. All right, you ready? Oh, and Merlin's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Would you break the law to save a loved one?
That is by far probably the craziest question I ever. Of course I would.
Right. Now, I don't want you, it's not about incriminating, and I don't want people to think that I'm asking you this question because I'm testing your loyalty or none of that.
Right.
It's just a question because everybody's so sensitive about the laws and everybody got love, right? You look on social media, everybody, it's my bro. Yeah. It's my sis, love, and all that. 100. I'm asking. You ain't got to go into detail to the depths of what you would do, but would you break the law to save a loved one? You said your answer was?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not incriminating myself because I ain't did nothing.
Absolutely. It's one of the reason why I asked that question is because of the fact that, when we start to look at relationships, right, we put them in certain categories, right?
Right.
You got them ride or dies, them day ones.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? The sandboxes. All of them little different sayings, right?
Right.
But when it come down to it, if it was on the line, and sometimes it ain't even got to be something as deep as breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if you going through some stuff in your life and you just need a joker to talk to, just to hear, just to
somebody
hear
that you can talk to. Just
right.
made that up a little bit, don't you know?
Right. You know what I mean? He's like, we got a couple dollars.
You got a couple dollars.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at some point or another, those relationships are going to be tested.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And where you trying to go at in life is going to factor in that question I just asked you.
Right.
Were you willing, and I'm not saying committing a crime, but it is going to require you to start to ask yourself a basic question on whether or not you would honestly,
right?
What was that, man? Turning this shit towards my mouth like that. It sound better, but don't be aiming nothing at my face.
It's all for the love of sound, man.
All right,
Dang.
listen.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
You're right. Okay.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
Okay,
man.
all right. And shit was weird to me, so I talked about it. Listen, the point that I'm saying is wherever you going, right? You need to know where you're going.
To know where you at.
I mean, you should know where you are. I mean, like,
Yeah,
but in order to know where you're going,
But do you
right?
know how you got there?
Man, this shit's goofy, man. This shit's, you know what I'm saying? Nah. I mean, because some shit in life, you put yourself in that position, and some circumstances just kind of, draw you in.
Right.
But what I want to say is this. Knowing where you're going,
Right.
or knowing where you want to get to,
Right.
and actually knowing how to get there is two different things.
Absolutely.
Right? All right, so once again, to reiterate, what today's show is going to be about dealing with GPS. That's Global Positioning System, right?
Right.
GPS also stands for something else.
Which I know you had an acronym for it.
Yeah, grown people shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, grown people shit. Yeah. So, all right, so you can't put that into your system in your car and say, you know what I mean? Like,
take me to grown people shit.
Take me through grown people shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And put in all the detours.
Yeah.
Let me know where the speed traps are and where the construction is. Like, none of that shit can go in when it comes to dealing with grown people shit. Right, that GPS. Right. Yeah. Now, the other GPS is cool.
Yeah.
But before you can futuristically get somewhere, right, you got to first off understand, like you said, where you currently are.
Yeah. That's why I said that. I knew we was going to get there.
Right. And you was right.
Yeah.
Now.
I was on my grown people shit.
In the days of yesteryear.
I never understood what that meant. Break that down to me. I ain't going to sit here and act like I knew what they meant all the time.
Right. Sometimes certain terminology come out and people say it incorrectly and it just becomes sketchy.
Yeah.
It yesteryear, that don't
So
add
what you mean?
anything.
You don't really know what that means?
No, it's not about me not knowing what it means. I didn't make that shit up. I mean, it's about the fact that when people said it, they were trying to put it in place like it was about yesterday.
Yeah.
So they called it yesteryear. You know what I mean? Like, so goofy, but it happened, right?
Yeah.
All right, so before we had GPSs, right?
Right.
What did we use?
Maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a map, I'm not going to break down that in the acronym or anything like that, but a map also has a defined meaning, right?
Yeah.
Now, you needed to be able to first, before you could read a map, what's the 4 things you needed to understand in terms of direction?
North, south, east, and west.
Come on now. Okay, welcome. You got it. Okay,
Yeah.
North, south, east, and west. So before you could even read a map, you had to understand whether you were going north, south, east, or west, right?
So now, north, south, east, west. Rough Riders gonna show you niggas who ride the best.
You know what? It really was about his time to do that. He's on the clock, like it's a certain amount of time.
Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm making about understanding where we came from, dealing with maps, then we get into GPS, which is once again global positioning system. All of those things is cool because they help you get from point A to point
B.
Thank you. Now, in order to get from point A to point B, they tell you this is the route that you need to take.
I sound like your deacon right now too.
Yeah, makes life a lot simpler to understand when you know where you're going, right?
Right.
And you get all the warning signs, and they reroute you. Rerouting.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't ever listen to it when I know where I'm going. Though.
See what I'm saying? Because you applied. Now think about this.
Yeah, you heard what I just said. That's why I said it. I wasn't trying to be funny.
No.
I don't listen to them when I know where I'm going.
Okay, so let's go back to the other GPS.
Let's talk about it.
All right, that's grown people shit too, right?
Right, yeah.
Because in your mind, right, you can have 2-3 different people. Listen, don't go that way, man. Hey, it's blocked. I'm telling you, don't go down there. I done went down this road 1,000 times. Matter of fact, I was down here earlier today.
Right.
Okay, but it's blocked now. And you drive and you go down there and it's blocked. And what you do? You blame the people for blocking it. And all they probably doing is their damn job.
Nah, I don't do that.
Okay, not you per se, the universal you.
Yeah.
Okay? The point that I want to get to, and I want you to actually jump in at any point in time.
Pop definitely would have did that.
Pop would have felt a particular type of way about it. He wouldn't even, first off, the whole GPS thing is
hey, man, I've been doing this shit for 45 years coming down the street.
Right. And then he get up, when they put a bridge, because you used to have to go around the jug handle. They don't have the jug handle anymore. It doesn't matter if they do, Pop. There's a way to go there besides that way.
Yeah.
Just go that way.
Right.
Yeah. The other GPS dealing with grown people shit,
Yeah.
we don't have that luxury.
No, we don't.
We don't have that luxury, right? But we do get indication for rerouting.
Oh yeah.
We do get it.
Yeah.
If you really, really think
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
We get it.
We get uncomfortable.
We get uncomfortable.
Right.
And we do get warning signs.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We do get things like that. Like I said, we choose to avoid, how can I say, not avoid. We choose to ignore
Ignore.
the help in the rerouting in the understanding of what we're going to have to do along the way to wherever we're going.
Right.
Right? So, as cool as it is to have the GPS that you can punch the address in into the car and all that kind of stuff,
Right. Right. I got one.
honestly, yeah, most cars, they starting to equip them with it now. That's actually
Right.
almost becoming somewhat standard.
Standard. Yeah.
Unless you're really ready to deal with the other GPS, which is grown people shit, once again,
Right.
it doesn't matter how many systems that you got in place that you put in there. If you ain't going to take heed to the different warnings and the rerouting, and
Right.
then you're going to make the
So-
same mistakes anyway.
So let me just elaborate where I feel like you was going with that. And
Okay.
That's an excellent thing. So basically where I feel like we were going with that is grown people shit. Right away, I'm gonna use an example of grown people shit. Grown people shit is bills.
Right.
Bills.
Right.
Right. So if you're headed to financial freedom, you got to take care of your bills.
Right.
You can't put yourself in debt. Even though America lives off debt and all that type of stuff, you can't put yourself in debt. So what you're saying is, in order for you to really get where you're going, you got to handle the grown people shit first.
You have
That's
to.
all. That's all you're basically saying. I like that.
Listen,
I like that.
you look at it, you do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
We always say,
I like Bishop because he cool.
either take, if you don't take care of your business will take care of you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Say it again.
If you don't take care of your business will take care of you. Now, that can be in a good way. It can also be in a bad way.
Right.
When I asked you the question about
The family.
would you break the law
For a loved one.
to save a loved one, you didn't think twice about it.
Nope.
But if I applied that same question to a person about would you make a change that could be beneficial to your entire family, they would hesitate.
You know what I think that is?
What's that?
That's fear.
So where does fear go when the original question is would you break the law to save a loved one? Where does fear go then?
Well, the reason why it's a different type of fear. See, certain failure we can live with, certain failure we can't. We can live with failure saving a loved one. We probably can't live with never trying to save a loved one. We can't live with failure if we take a shot, let's say, investing, and it's a lot of money. We got to put all of it into it. I'm gonna say investing money. We take some of us take a fear of a failure of that loss. But I'm gonna say something like entertainment,
Okay.
where people turn around and, you hear Steve Harvey often say he jumped right in.
Yeah.
He
Took a
jumped
leap
right
of faith.
took a
Right.
leap of faith, took it all in.
Absolutely.
That fear of failure for some people is the waste of time and the lack of time. But like we talk about often, you only got one life to live.
Right.
So fear will always hold you back. I seen this thing one day with Will Smith. And he broke it down. He said, listen, one day I'm hanging out with my boys and everything. And while we hanging out, we going skydiving. We going skydiving tomorrow. We going to meet at the spot. We diving. We skydiving. Yeah, hey. Everybody taking shots, whatever, doing what they doing. Excited, whatever. So the next day he woke up. He like, what the hell I done got myself into? We doing skydiving and all this and all that, man. So you get there, and he said, he get up on the plane, basically, they're on the plane. They call him up to the edge, and they say on the count of 3, gonna push you. He's like 1, 2, and they pushed him. He was like, as soon as he got past, he said it was the most funnest, best thing he ever did in his life. He was basically saying everything that we want is right on the other side of fear. Right on the other side of fear.
Absolutely.
That's what he basically was saying. He said every single thing that we want is on the other side of fear.
Absolutely.
So when you telling a person to change something and it could better them, it's the failure. It's the fear of either failure or the fear of they feel like they're wasting their time. Everybody want their time to be their time.
Right.
But to get to the, I've talked about time before. Shout out solo shout out of this episode. My sister Sass. Shout out to my sister Sass because she hit me with this when I was talking about the time thing before. But again, time is the true riches. We don't feel like like you go through a bad relationship. You hear somebody say, "That was the worst 5 years of my life. I wasted 5 years of my life."
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Then you got some when it's something. Sometimes they can be cool with that person later, and then they'll say, "You know what? That 5 years helped build me to who I am. It wasn't a waste."
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But what it is it's fear and ignorance, man. Like we like sure shots.
Right.
All right. It's a lot of people out there that bet on sports.
Right.
Okay. So betting on sports, some people don't do it because they're not gamblers. Some don't want to. I don't want to lose $1. I don't want to lose $5. I don't want to lose nothing. But when they hear that somebody that they know hit, now they like, damn, I should have played the 5.
Yeah. Everybody want to be a winner, but
right.
but everybody don't want to be a gambler.
Right. So hindsight, what, 50-50, 20-20? What it is? Hindsight,
20-20.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Damn.
Nah, had a
50-50.
had a Cam Newton moment. You remember when he said that?
Oh,
I was going really with that.
okay.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Lying.
Go look it up.
Nah.
Cam Newton, hindsight 50-50. Y'all look that up on YouTube. Cam Newton, hindsight 50-50. You'll see what I'm talking about. I know that the hindsight is 20-20, like 20-20 vision.
Listen,
I got it.
I like where you going. You building right
All right.
now.
So,
do your thing.
so what I'm saying is this. You can't win unless you play the game.
Yeah, you heard what I said.
But everybody, they want the short shot. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. In the Super Bowl, when a man just went streaking,
Yeah.
what he did was, he seen on FanDuel, they asked, do you think anybody's going to streak? He put 50,000 on it. And then he ran. So he put his own, I don't know if he put his own or somebody with him. They put the money on it, and then I'm going to go take off and run out there. So he assured the bag. He secured the bag.
Yeah.
374,000 he won.
Yeah.
And when he got locked up, the heard his bail was only 500.
Yeah.
Best investment they ever made in their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you got to believe in all investments. You got if you're worried about losing, then you're not built for it.
Right.
That's bottom line.
So if he blessed his family, right?
Yeah.
It's safe to say if I posed that question to him, would he break the law to save a loved one? And he blessed his family. He saved his family from being in poverty or being in debt. Yeah. He was willing to break the law. He did it, right?
Right.
I ain't say would you go. I ain't say nothing about going to
said
kill
nothing
nobody.
about killing nobody. You said break the law.
I said break the law.
Right.
Right.
What if they needed the money to save the house?
Hey, what if you needed to help and get somewhere and you were speeding?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
The question was like that just to see. But I wanted to touch on this because you did make a statement about the fact that the thought of, when I asked that question, living with trying and failing is something that you could live with.
Right.
Versus never trying
At all.
at all.
Right.
Now I want to say this. When I posed the question, would you break the law to save a loved one? When you look at the question that I'm asking,
Right.
right? The question is, would you break the law? And just kind of thinking about what you went into, what you were saying about the whole not attempting, not living with that versus being comfortable with making the attempt.
Right.
If you honestly apply that to everything,
Mm-hmm.
you get so much more further.
Grown people shit.
and you would manage grown people shit so much better. Your GPS would get so much better.
Right.
Because you would be able to look at those things and say, this isn't a hard thought at all.
Right.
This isn't a hard, because first and foremost, like, all right, what kind of got me on it was, like I said to you before, I'm a person who protects relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my expectations of people are built around my word,
Right.
right? Built around my bond.
Right.
If you ask me to do something and I give you my word it's going to get done, you never have to worry about double checking because it's going to get done. Now, if you ask me and you feel like you need to be comfortable and be sure, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Problem with me is my expectations are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
See, I start people here, right? And then as things happen in life, and this isn't geared to any particular person, I'm just putting this into dealing with grown people shit.
Right.
I start you here. And as things begin to happen, sometimes they become a little questionable. Well, I have to kind of reevaluate, right? Nobody's perfect. It's going to be disagreements, but it's not so much words, it's more or less actions. Unless your words are intent to cut.
Right.
So as things develop and it goes on, I got to recalibrate things, right? Well, you might have started here, you're now here. Some people work in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Some people start you here. And as time goes on, they say, okay, they are here, worth it. And they go through some other things in life and you know, time develops and they reassess and now they're here.
Right.
The point that I'm making is dealing with grown people, shit, you have to realize that everybody's grade and everybody's way of looking at it and everybody's way of adjusting and trying to figure out where they're going to go is all contingent upon themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's on you.
It's all on you and
Yeah.
what you. So if I leave, just sticking with the GPS situation, if I leave the house early and I run into traffic, I know where I'm going, but I run into traffic. There's a better chance that I still may arrive where I need to get to
On time.
on time. Now, understanding that my directions are what they are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I leave late, it's that direction. Doesn't matter if I leave early, it's that direction, right?
Right.
The only thing that's different in between that, in that route is what? My expectations.
Right.
My expectations. Because if I leave right on time, but I get there late, my expectations is what? It wasn't going to be any traffic.
Right.
It wasn't going to be any challenge. It wasn't going to be any roadblocks. It wasn't going to be an accident.
Mm-hmm.
But if I live life from the perspective of, I got my directions, I know where I want to get to,
Yeah.
I'm going to work early. I'm leaving early, like you do all the time.
Every day.
Okay? I'm going to leave and go early. Why? It's not about me having fear of anticipating something challenging me.
Right.
It's about respecting the fact that there's probably going to be a challenge somewhere along the way.
Well, we've talked about this. Leaving early isn't a plan B. Leaving early gives me my risk management plan. Because what it is I just said, and I've said it, I just said in this episode, and I said it over and over again, time is the true riches.
Right.
So whenever you go somewhere, we're going to go away from time and go with money. You know what I mean? When you're young, especially when you're a young man, and you first start moving around by yourself, you always got your dad or your uncle or somebody, even your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go nowhere without no money in your pocket.
Right.
You might need that. You got at least a quarter. Remember back in the day with the payphone? Got at least a quarter if you got to call home. You got to call home. You might need at least a quarter. And now we all got cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
So that, that covered that. But leaving early gives you that, tries to give you that more of an insurance plan on being there on time.
Right. That's right.
Besides that, like I said, it's part of risk management. It really gives you that ability to say, I'm handling grown people shit the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
See, one of the key things in grown people shit is having that risk management plan. And like when they talk about finances,
Right.
a lot of times they like to say, you need to have at least $2,000 of rainy day money,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Just in case your car gets a flat tire during the week. and if your tire's like mine, cost $248. The average person, if you ain't got that, you got to wait till you get paid to pay that $248. But do you want to ride on that donut? You might not be able to ride with a donut. A donut is a temporary tire.
Right.
Or homeowners like we are.
Right.
In the middle of the night, you hear that. Psst. Fuck was that? Then you hear that.
I was going to ask you what that was.
He come out there, water every fucking where. That hot water heater tank. The hot water went.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, middle of the night, you got to be able to call somebody. I can get you one out here real quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I say that to say this. Time is money. Going on time is getting you there. Going early is getting you there on time. And you also got a different attitude about it. Yeah. When an emergency happens, flat tire, you be like, damn, tire. A good, thank God I put the money away. When you ain't got the money, you get annoyed that I can't do nothing. You why you want me to go to the store? You know I got a donut.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You left to go to work right on time.
Yeah.
Now, you trying to weave in and out the traffic. You trying to do different moves. You about to crash.
Yeah.
You hyper. It even makes you feel different.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's crazy? You absolutely
So
right.
when you handling grown people shit,
right.
part of your grown people shit is risk management.
Yeah.
Having that rainy day money.
It's all psychological.
It's all psychological.
Bruh, you know how many people take an address, put it in their phone or put it in their GPS in their car, in their vehicle, and they look up and it says, it gives you the time, destination, or how much, how long it'll take you to get it. That shit'll say 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And their appointment is at 3:30. They say, shit, as long as I'm out of here by 3:03.
Yeah.
What? It's like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The
Right.
GPS, it made life so simple. I think it made people thinking very lazy.
Well, smartphones made a lot of people dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people were slow before they got the phone. But, so, you know, phone didn't help.
I'm at this point where some people,
Right.
because I'm telling you, if you treat it, I'm gonna give y'all something. I'm just saying like this. Some people like being late, right?
Okay.
But I'm gonna give somebody some game, not necessarily some game, some real understanding about something. If you start managing your time better, your pockets will actually grow bigger.
Without a question.
Bottom line.
Without a
bottom line.
question.
I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
If you start managing your time better,
Right.
your pockets will grow bigger. And I'm gonna break that down.
Break it down, bro. That's absolutely right.
I'm gonna break that down to you.
Do your thing.
If you driving your car fast every day and you drive it hard, you're gonna be paying for brakes before you know it.
Absolutely.
You're gonna need tires before you know it.
Absolutely.
But if you could just do the speed limit and just chill, and you get there a little bit earlier, and you sit down at your desk and you have a little coffee before, bro, I could sit down. Sometimes I'll be able to sit down at work and eat a whole breakfast, take a shit and everything before I'm really supposed to start working. That's how early I'll be sometimes, and just clear my head. But I learned that the moment I started doing things a little earlier, I started even having more money. I had leased a Acura some years back. First time I ever went out and leased, I had a 2016 Acura TLX, right? The whole time, I had it for 3 years. I didn't have to get brakes. I didn't need new tires. And I used to drive it fast at times just to test it out, but because I always was driving and trying to be on time and kept the maintenance, I never had to change anything on that car.
Right. Right.
But I've had other cars. Yeah, I put brand new tires on the car. And in 2 years, I need new tires because I was always in a rush.
Right. Right.
I was always in a rush.
Right.
When you manage your time better, everything that's successful in life has a schedule.
Everybody that you ever see that is successful in life is always on one.
Huh? That's what I tried to. I was explaining that. Shout out to DK. I was talking to D one day. I was like, D, things come together when you create a schedule.
Absolutely.
I said if you notice everything you do in your life, you do it on a schedule, except for the stuff for yourself.
That's it.
You got to be to work at 8 o'clock. Say if you got a 9 to 5, you got to be there at 9. You make sure, if you're an on-time person, you make sure you get there at 9.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you one of them people that get there at 9:20 every day, unless your boss is very lenient, you always in some stuff at work because you're late.
They don't care.
Now they start to take away your sick time.
Exactly.
They start to dock your time.
Yeah.
I just said, if you on time or be there early,
that's right.
Your money will look better.
It will. It's the truth. What you're saying is accurate. Like, bruh, I mean, a lot of the delay in most growth comes from the inability to be able to get yourself on some kind of, stringent schedule.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest form of a discipline to allow you to stay on that right road to deal with your GPS, your grown people shit.
Yeah.
And I tell you, the other thing too, let me tell you something. What I've noticed with people in life, people recognize those who don't have a lot of time to kind of just like willy-nilly squander around.
Right.
Like they don't even present certain things to certain people like that. You know what I mean? They'll shoot you a text like, yo, whenever you can free up. Or yo, whenever you get a minute, could you just holler at me when you free up. When you calling somebody or texting somebody who ain't never doing shit, you just shoot it out there. What's up? You just start talking. You know what I mean? But people who are like established and have figured out how valuable their time are,
right?
You got to ask to be penciled in with them, and that's not personal. That's just the way their life is set up. And so because they figured it out, one of the main things that they figured out is I gotta stop leaving so much time for the silly shit.
Right.
I got to stop leaving so much time for people to think that they can kind of fill up with whatever little, willy-nilly situation they want to come up with.
Right.
And that's the difference. So when you know, like you said, where you are and you know where you want to go,
right.
Now it just becomes a situation. What do I need to do so I can make sure that my travel keeps me on point? That's why, like you said, you get up in the morning. Sometimes you got enough time. When you get to work, you there so early, you can eat breakfast and use the restroom before you start your day.
Right.
Well, you got people that show up late and then
I take a grown people shit.
Well, exactly.
Grown person shit. Like, yeah.
But the point that I'm making, like you said, like you put yourself in a position where in the event something does take place or does not, you're going to always value your time at a high level. That's the difference. I'm telling you. All you got to... Some of the same homeboys that you left on the corner still out there.
Oh, I just had this conversation with somebody the other day.
You know why they still out there? Because they ain't figured out they grown people shit yet.
Nope.
And they out there hoping somebody else.
They've been doing that since we was 13.
Young.
Man.
They still
13.
out there. They still out. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you a hustler. I don't care if you out there singing on the corner or whatever you doing. You still out there idly just wasting time.
I got a question. This ain't got to do what you talking about.
What?
When last time you see a group of dudes outside singing around a barrel with the fire?
I mean, it's been a minute, but that's probably because, like you, I'm keeping myself busy with other things. Now
Merlin might bring that back.
He might. He might. But
Shibop. You know what I mean?
Hopefully he doesn't. Okay? But the thing about it is understanding that, like you said, which is an excellent point, time is the true riches.
Yeah.
And when you can get money, you can accumulate so much more by taking control of your time.
Right.
And putting yourself in a position where you don't leave a whole lot of idle time.
Right.
Like I know people turn around, break their back. Used to, when I was working, break their back, work a lot of overtime and all that kind of stuff. I tipped my brim to them because they figured out that was the way that they was going to go about creating, financial freedom for themselves and their families. Cool, but it came at a cost.
Yeah.
It came at a cost, right? Now, that cost was different for some people. For me, I always knew where I valued things. I knew that I wanted to be able to do the most that I could possibly do for my family, but I also knew that part of doing the most for them was being available for them.
Right.
And sometimes you have to kind of weigh those things out.
Right.
You got to say, okay, I'm going to either burn the candle from both ends, or I'm going to figure out how to burn the candle slower, save some time, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And make it last a little longer. So, the point in all of that, man, once again, just kind of going back, like I said, to reiterate the whole GPS thing, is even if you know where you're going, if you don't know the value of that time, that road, that path, that that whatever you want to call between point A and point B. If you don't know how to make others respect that as well,
Right.
you'll never ever get to where you want to get to.
Right.
You just won't.
Speaking of this, now this ain't grown people. Right. I just want to know this. Have you ever used the GPS and it really had you on some wacky, like somewhere far out and wacky that it ain't take you where it was supposed to take you?
I've had that experience, and that's just things change with the whole. I guess the directions in terms of what was there before, like we said with Pop, where it used to be a bridge here and all that.
Yeah.
Some things did change. I tell you what though, more often than not, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But I have had those moments where I looked up and was like, all right, this is clearly not it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at that point, I started to think outside of the box and saying, okay, let's use your little common sense and get on up out of here and, try it again.
I think I've seen a lot of people do that at times because what they'll start to do is they'll start to type in an address. And then they'll see an address pop up. And then they'll say a town that's neighboring the town that they're trying to go to.
Right.
And that because that town, because like for example, we born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey. You can live in Hamilton and say you live in Trenton.
Yeah.
Right? But some of these townships share the same streets with the same name.
Oh yeah.
So you mess around and be on the wrong block.
You on the boulevard.
Yeah.
It just ain't that one you thought it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I think I'm using this for an example. It's some people, no matter how many times they go some places, they got to keep using the GPS. But I'm one of them guys after the first or second time, I know where I'm going for the most part. And it's because I want to learn a different way if a detour comes.
Right.
Because they're going to happen. If you only know one way to do something, one way, the moment somebody just puts something in front of it, it's over. They used to say DJ Touchtone from Philly was he was a blind DJ. He knew how many steps it took to get to the DJ booth from the front door and all that. And I always said to myself, I wonder if he know if they put something there, like if he know. So of course he was blind, so he still had his way. And I'm sure it was days he probably came to work. It might have been a mop bucket there. It might have been it. But he still knew how to get there. Now, this is a man that couldn't even see. He couldn't even see. But yet, he still knew where he was going. There's some people that have the whole ability to see, have all the technology to tell them which way they're going, but because they don't take the time out to learn where they really want to go and what they want to do and what they want to be, they still end up lost. And that's where the rerouting comes in that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So with this grown people shit, the GPS that we're talking about, when you fail at something, because I said people fear failure, just know next time you try it, don't do it the same way.
That's all.
Use a different route.
There's a lesson even in failure.
You never lose.
Yeah.
You learn.
It's a gain. It's a gain every time.
See, you learn, you win every time because you're learning every time you do something.
Yeah.
The only reason why you have a winner and a loser in a lot of competitions is because for entertainment, we created that. Not too long ago, we just watched the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Okay. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the last game the Buccaneers lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost 24-27. Tyreek Hill had 3 touchdowns, 203 yards or something like that.
You running that buck shit down. Go ahead.
Right. Then in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs didn't even score. Some people say it's momentum, some because of the calls, whatever. You still can't take away from the defense that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played.
Okay.
They had about 2-3 front offensive linemen now. Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody using that for an excuse. One ain't had a whole season. They also only lost one game the whole season. So you can't use that. Basically, what it was, they looked at the last route they took. When somebody get blew out, what they say? They got routed. Okay? The last route that they took and they lost.
That's right.
They adjusted that. And they won. So even when they lost that first game,
That's right.
they only lost because it was a score.
That's right.
But they learned, so they won the big game.
Right.
So that I'm telling you, you never lose.
Yeah.
You never lose. If you create your mentality of I'm never losing. That's why Jay-Z's always walking around. I will not lose. He's telling you, even he said on I'm just gonna quote this. He said, when the grass is cut, the snakes are show. I gotta thank the little homie Nas for that though. He said something about all these assholes. He said then he said some shit about it's a valuable lesson learned, so it's even up for me. You know what I mean? Because he said, because I will not lose, but even in defeat, it's a valuable lesson learned, so it evens up for me.
Yeah.
So he's basically telling you, I still ain't lose.
Absolutely.
Even if you think his song was better, I learned that this man really don't like me. I learned that this man really don't like me, that I thought that was my brother. I still don't feel like I lost the battle, but it's a valuable lesson learned, so it evens up for me.
Yeah.
That was his exact bars.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So when you sit and you really think about it, you never lose, man.
No, it's
and
a
if
great
people
point.
realize that, they'll be on time. They start handling their grown people shit.
Word.
They'll be more successful.
Word.
That's all
Word.
it is, man.
Word.
Word up. I wish I knew the bar line for line. I ain't got it like I used to.
Yeah, well,
Call Merlin. He'll get it together.
Right, he's magical. He bring it back. Nah.
He's magical.
Yeah. A lot of that being said, bro, like you said, the understanding that you never lose thing, if you adopt that as the regular format and how you approach things, you, like you said, you'll naturally adjust your time. Like you'll naturally do it. It's like results dealing with working out and everything like that. The more you work out, the pain leaves the body. You start to feel,
no pain,
better.
no gain.
Right. They used to say that all the time. They used to say that pain ain't nothing but fear leaving the body. The moment that the body no longer fears that situation, it doesn't even hurt and feel the same anymore.
Right.
Which is why when you look up and you start seeing results in your efforts, it starts to change your mindset. You don't worry about doing different things. You lift heavier, you run faster, you run farther, you do all of those things because you're conquering things along the way. So taking back time and putting yourself in a position to be able to, like you said, understand the true riches of it.
Right.
That's the difference. I think what happens is people waste two things that they can never really afford to waste. And that's time
and money.
And money.
Right. That's the fear.
Usually if you fix one, it automatically resets the other.
Listen.
So if you fix the situation where you're wasting time, you'll fix the situation when you're wasting money.
Right.
And vice versa. You stop wasting money.
Time is money.
So that's why that works that way. And that's why no matter where you want to go, even if you utilize a system that's put in place, like I said, the GPS being global positioning system, even if you utilize that, if you don't understand that you need to move earlier, if you don't understand that there is some rerouting, if you don't understand that there is going to be some construction, then you don't understand how that actual journey is going to even take place.
Absolutely. That's where you need the GPS at.
And that's why. So you can't make life but so simple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't make life but so simple. And that's the thing that becomes, like I said, glaring as you're starting to evolve. You look around and the first thing that you take into account is, I wasted a lot of time.
Right.
Right? Because you get beyond money. Money is what it is. It's not being important. But when you realize the thing that you can't get back, which is time, that makes you go, wow.
Right.
Wow, I wasted a lot of time. And if I just simply take back control over that and I ration that out, more importantly, or
you
more
spend it, you
precisely,
spend it, use it, yeah.
You will make it where all of the other things fall into line automatically.
See, the most dangerous thing a lot of people do, especially coming up, they think they blow money. They really don't. They blow time. Because what's the thing that a lot of people fear? That they gonna miss something. When they fear that they gonna miss something, they put themselves in a position not to miss it. So I don't care when you 25 and you going out to every party.
Yeah.
Every party that's coming up is supposed to be the illest party.
Yeah, but can I say
every
this to you?
party?
I'm gonna say this to you though.
Right.
Where does that logic go when the person turns around and works a boatload of overtime doing whatever they do? Where does that logic go then?
That logic is not about. See, here's the thing, and I'm glad you said that. That's perfect. I don't chase, and this is not a knock. I want y'all to definitely know that. Shout out to DK, always chasing D bag.
No doubt, no doubt.
I don't chase bags.
Okay.
When I manage my time the right way, the opportunity comes to me.
Right.
So when you just said the person that works a boatload of overtime, right? They're just as guilty as the person that think they're going to miss a party.
That was the main thing I wanted to say.
Because if you working all the time, you don't even know how to use that. Because here's the thing. If they take their regular hours and live by their means and invest their extra, they can get the same money without applying all that extra work for overtime.
Right.
At the same time. Like right now, I work a lot of overtime because I have a goal that I'm trying to conquer.
Right.
But I know it won't be like that forever because the first thing that I look at is say, if I adjust this, but I can't adjust this until then. It's part of the game plan.
Right. Right. That sacrifice has a purpose.
Because Vic, I was just telling somebody today, I was like, in my opinion, a lot of times a man that's married or in a relationship and they live with their lady.
Right.
I feel like they never truly get a break unless they take a trip.
Okay.
I'm gonna say why I say that is this. Your woman, because you're the leader, supposed to be the leader of the home. If you're home and they're off, I mean, if you're home and they're at work, they might say, "Can you run and take care of this? Can you do that?" You ever been off from work, and days that you just took a day off from work, you was doing more than you would have did if you'd have went to work?
Yeah, most of the time.
Right. Because most of the time when a man takes off, he takes off because he got to take care of something.
Yeah.
He never really, but when he takes a trip, when he goes away, he's really like, "Oh, I'm coming here to see the game.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm coming here to do this. I'm coming here to..." That's what I mean. But it's because we are real men, grown people shit, are naturally workers. We're going to provide all the way.
Right.
So as a man, don't rely on your job in overtime to be everything. Let's just be honest. We ain't doing this just for fun. The Porch podcast is going to be something big.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
So what I mean about the people that wasted the time and the people that, just like you said, that was a great question, that works all the overtime.
Yeah.
If they manage, because first of all, if the guy that's working all the overtime, if he's doing it because he just feels like doing it, and he's not, he doesn't have a family at home, and he's saying, "Oh, I'm just making more of a surplus for myself," then in my opinion, he's not doing nothing wrong. The guy that goes out all the time and doesn't have a family,
right,
and he uses all his money at the parties, as long as he's not, I'm not saying they're not wasting time in my opinion, but as long as he's not complaining about money later and all that, that's just a choice.
Right. You
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But family is created for you to spend time with them.
That's okay.
Because that's the important part of it. That should be why we do everything, which goes back to the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Would you break the law to save a loved one?
Yeah. Yeah. But all right, let's do this. Like, even if you look at people that's established in the industries.
Right.
Whether they have families or whether they don't. You see how they treat their time? It's not that they don't take trips and
How?
buy, expensive things and, live a life
Right.
that they're happy with.
Right.
They know it comes at a price.
Right.
I'm not mad at it because everybody's not going to get, quote unquote, where they are to be comfortable
Right.
the exact same way. It's
Nope.
not going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's impossible. That's why everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different mind. And everybody has a different approach. Now, in the grand scheme of understanding the value of time and how that turns into being able to generate more finances as well,
Right.
you also turn to the reality of cost, right? Because if you're going to talk about gaining money, you got to also talk about cost. You also have and the cost that goes into it. So, like for instance, when I used to work overtime, and I didn't even work a boatload of time, but anytime I worked overtime, I began to, at some point or another, actually literally feel guilty
Right.
about the time that I didn't. Because I already worked in the evenings, so I didn't get that quote-unquote common time that most
Right.
people got. And then when I did work the overtime, it would be over into 2:45. Like, I'll give you a prime example. I used to work, I'd leave out Monday at 11:30. Right? And I'd go up into town. I'd go see Mom. I'd kick it there for maybe about an hour, something like that. Not very long at all. I'd go to work. Boom. 2 o'clock, I'd get there. 10:30 came. I would work 4 hours overtime. Right? And it was only 4 hours. It ain't busting the bank. You look up, it's 2:30 in the morning because my shift was 2 to 10:30 before. Then it went I would work from 10:30 to 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
Be too tired to drive back home.
Go spend the night at Mama.
I would go spend the night at Mom's house, right? Get up the next day, that day, at that point, because it's actually, next day. And I would go back to work, 2 o'clock. I would do it again, do another 4, right? But this time, I said, I'm not going to stay home. I'm just going to make sure I'm just going to drive home, turn my music up loud, roll my windows, whatever I had to do, roll them down, whatever I had to do. I wouldn't get home to 3:30 in the morning, but it would be Wednesday morning. Now, I left my house 11:30 on Monday.
Right.
And I would do that pretty regularly.
Right.
I would look and say, damn. I look at the mail. I said, this is Monday and Tuesday's mail. It's like I was in the Twilight Zone. I couldn't figure. I said, but damn, I didn't go anywhere. I would almost start to feel guilty. Or if I was looking at different pictures, or if I was seeing different things that was going on, I started showing up to cookouts and shit like that for the family. And the people were surprised to see me.
That was rerouting.
Right? But listen, the people were surprised to see me.
Right. I get you. I was one of the people.
Right. So I would start saying, damn, I know what I'm doing has a great, it has a purpose and it's with good intent.
Right.
But even that came with a cost.
Listen, everything costs. This is what I'm saying. That's why I said the guy that's working all the overtime, just like the guy that hang out. If you manage your time the correct way, your money will be better. Now, that means if you follow and live everything by your means.
Right.
You can't have $1 million lifestyle making $30,000 a year.
Right.
You just can't do it. And I don't care how much overtime you work or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes we put ourselves in certain sacrifice situations, and then you have to hustle to get out of it. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But like right now, me working all the overtime, I do. I still know how to manage the time.
Absolutely.
To do it the right way.
Right.
But what I cut out, where I changed and cut out, I don't go out.
See what I'm saying? But that's the
I don't go out like I used to.
Now that's the reroute.
That's the reroute.
That's the
because
reroute.
What's important to me is listen. When I wanna come, I come out. I said these right here. These turntables. I'm a real DJ, y'all. These turntables with
these people know you a DJ,
with a little
man.
swig, with a little swig. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do a little blend, get my little bounce on it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Bounce with this. You know what I mean? It's only weird if you make it weird, man. You know what I mean? I'm bouncing on the swig, man. Come on, man. Like, damn, like it's always pee, man. Look at you, almost choked your damn self. Bullshit.
Go and bounce on it.
Listen, man. Listen, all I'm saying is grown people shit. When we mean by grown people shit, and shout out to everybody that's out there chasing their bags and doing everything they doing and doing what they and making a sacrifice. But that's the key word. Sacrifice. It's sacrifice in every game that we have.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna let y'all know I'm Mr. Influential. This has been the Porch Podcast, and I love y'all. I thank y'all.
Yeah. Hey, before we let you guys go, like I said, if you haven't already done it, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep on getting it and listening to everything on your actual streaming, wherever you're getting it from. Also, wherever that is, whether it's Stitcher, whether it's Radio Public, Overcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and as I always say, and probably some other shit I don't know.
You said iHeartRadio?
I said that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I heart y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no, listen, thanks for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
It's been your boy P Original.
And I am your boy, Mr. Influential.
And I'm with this guy here, man.
Yeah, listen. Merlin.
Hey, man, y'all be cool.
All right, man. We out.
All right, peace.